I was just saying to Lynne earlier that it sometimes feels that people in power and people in positions with influence don't really understand our issues. So we're particularly honoured to have you here tonight. So if you can please welcome to the stage Lynne Featherstone, Member of Parliament for Horseneath and Wood Green, Coalition Parliament Under Secretary of State for Equalities.
Thank you very much, Paris, for that introduction and for the fantastic work that Transmedia Watch is doing. And I have to say it's a real honour and a pleasure to be here this evening, a really important evening. Now obviously I'm here first and foremost as the Minister for Equalities, but I'm also here as a long-standing and passionate campaigner for trans equality, which started long before I was a minister, in fact. And I can tell you, from that experience, what is taking place here today is pretty incredible. There will be campaigners in this room today who, like me, will know what a struggle it has been to ensure that trans issues even got a look in. A few years ago, this would have been unimaginable. And here we are today, with one of the biggest public service broadcasters, with a reach of millions and millions of viewers every day, making a firm commitment to improve the coverage of transgender people and transgender issues. And I thought those three forethoughts that we saw were absolutely phenomenal, thought-provoking, and actually showed some of the complexity that actually most people just don't get. As yet, this is a game changer, really, it really is. And I want to extend my warmest congratulations to Channel 4, not only for taking this step, but for all you do to champion equality. You actually have been at the vanguard, bringing the accurate portrayal of LGBT issues to our television screens altogether. From the first lesbian kiss on Brookside to being the first channel today to deal with issues of transitioning head-on. And accuracy, dignity and respect, I think that's the most perfect way to sum it up. I also do want to pay particular tribute to the team at Transmedia Watch for all the hard work that has gone into making this happen. But we can't let it begin and end here. I believe that the wider endorsement of Transmedia Watch's Memorandum of Understanding has actually the potential to dramatically improve the way transgender people are viewed and treated in this country. It is, of course, not the policy of the government to tell the media what they should be doing and how they should be doing it, and indeed if we did, they tell us where to go with it. Indeed, your very existence as a voice wholly independent of government is totally fundamental to our existence as a free society. But what I do hope to do is encourage all of you to really consider your responsibility in pushing forward trans equality. We as a country pride ourselves on having successfully consigned the worst examples of discrimination to the past. And for the most part that is true. The days when we would see signs saying no blacks, no dogs, no Irish, in the windows of pubs, not that long ago, sadly, but it has thankfully now disappeared. But I believe, and I don't say this lightly, that for transgender people, we have not been so successful. Every day, too many live with the reality and threat of prejudice, and sometimes even violence, quite often violence, because of who they are. I thought I knew it all, but I myself was shocked when I found out that 89% have been subject to physical assault. I mean, that is an horrific statistic. And earlier, Jenny gave the statistics on those who could consider committing suicide. Here in 2011, this is a pretty alarming set of statistics, and while I can't conclusively tell you why this is the case, I do believe that part of it, absolutely, part of this treatment is caused by mass ignorance and a complete lack of understanding of the transgender world and transgender issues. Now, the coalition government is wholeheartedly committed to taking this forward and ensuring that transgender people are afforded the same opportunities, the same freedoms, the same rights as every other individual in this country. Earlier today, I announced the publication of our detailed action plan on LGBT and T equality. Ensuring that transgender people are afforded the same opportunities. and setting out how we will, right across government, and that goes through every department of government, tackle LGBT inequality. And in addition, later this year, because as well as what is in the LGBT Transgender Action Plan, there are issues that are quite separate and different and need particular attention for the transgender community. So we will be bringing forward a Transgender Action Plan to highlight those specific issues faced by the transgender community. Now, the role of the media. We cannot do this on our own. If we are going to, I think as Jenny said, achieve truly transformative change, change that lasts, we need to change behaviour, and we need to open hearts and minds and improve the understanding of the community, which has been misunderstood and been misrepresented for so long. And legislation can only take us so far. We have some of the best anti-discrimination legislation in the world now, and a great another chunk of it comes in on the 6th of April, which will change the way things are done in this country. But those of you who work in the media can do this far better and far more effectively than us politicians, sadly. Because, yes, I wish I wasn't as effective as Channel 4. Because when you do it right, when transgender people are positively portrayed, whether it's on our television screens or in print, you not only improve visibility of this very small group of people, but you bring their personalities and the realities of their lives in a real way to millions of people across the country and into their homes. You absolutely transform them in the public's eye from being transgender people into just people. Ordinary human beings wanting to play their part in society, deserving of the same rights and same freedoms as anyone else. And that really makes people, and particularly young people who are so vulnerable at that particularly formative stage of their life, rethink and challenge their prejudices and old ways of thinking. And for transgender people to see themselves portrayed positively and not as a problem, not as something to be laughed at or ridiculed, that can make all the difference between an individual transitioning and being able to live their life openly, or having to spend their life in fear, hiding their true self completely. It is no coincidence that 20% of respondents questioned in Transmedia Watch's survey reported having received negative reactions at work, which they could trace to an item in the media. And shockingly, 12% reported negative reactions from service providers. The bottom line is this: you are the vehicle, you the media, through which knowledge and values are transmitted in today's world. And with that comes great, great responsibility to deliver diversity and equality in everything you do. So I hope each and every one of you here today, as part of that responsibility, will sign Transmedia Watch's Memorandum of Agreement of Understanding. The trans community are not asking you to compromise your competitiveness or audience figures. We have seen, through programmes like Hollyoaks and Coronation Street, how positive transgender characters, far from compromising audience figures, have actually brought them pouring in. They're not asking you to create a shopping list or a tick box of obligations. This isn't about fulfilling quotas or political correctness. It's about artistic and creative integrity. It's about inspiring and educating people. And it's actually about making better programmes which connect with all audiences. All they are asking you to do is apply a set of simple considerations in their creative process which could help change lives and futures for a community of people and help make Britain a more tolerant and fair society. Thank you very much.